So welcome back to the Jersey Buzz, and art's a thing. And I have a really cool guest here who does a lot of art all the time. Welcome to the show, Adam.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Arts Council of Princeton, said that one right. Yeah, tell everybody what you do.
Well, thank you again for having me. So the Arts Council of Princeton does just about everything, it feels like. We have what we call sort of four pillars, where we have education, we have outreach, we have galleries, and we have residencies. And so amongst those four different pillars, we fulfill so many different things for so many different people, from amateurs to professionals, from kids to adults to seniors. So we try to have something for everyone. You can't always have something for everyone, but we try. We certainly started a bunch of series, like the Art of series that we have, which are more based on artisanal experiences.
Okay.
So we offer, say, the art of crossword puzzles, or the art of gut health, or the art of women in midlife. So we have all kinds of different art of experiences.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's not just the big capital letter art, as they say.
Right. No, because, and we're going to get into how art really does help with mental health and obviously gut health. Maybe I should take an art class for gut health. Oh, there we go. You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Now, the Arts Council of Princeton, whenever you guys have an event, it's just mobbed and you have street closures. I mean, it's really well attended. And how has it really built the community and integral part of Princeton?
So we really love big events, and we certainly love big events that have a lot of excitement. And we want to offer something to the community that they can't get anywhere else, right?
Mhm.
So as we were talking a little bit before the show came on, there's so much available out there, and there's so much activities for people to take part in. And a lot of the times, we're getting more and more closed in, we're getting more and more insular. It's getting harder and harder to go out and, do these things. So sometimes it's just easier to stay in. So if we offer activities, that are close to home, that are local, that support the local, we hope that will encourage, large crowds. And, you add a little beer, and you add a little music, and you add a little art, it makes it, fun for almost everyone.
That's true.
That is true. So we've had a reputation since 1971, though we were founded in September 1967. But in 1971, we held our first street fair that was called the Art People Party. And that morphed into an event called Communiversity, which a lot of people are familiar with.
Yeah.
Communiversity morphed, thanks to COVID, morphed into two different events, which is Princeton PorchFest, which we're going to be celebrating our fourth one coming up on Saturday, April 20, I'm going to ruin this, 4th. And then we are also, the following weekend, which would be Saturday, May 3rd, will be the Princeton Art Bazaar, which is also something that we have every year. And both those events bring thousands of people to town. PorchFest was designed to, during COVID, to get people out of their house and walking around town. So an opportunity to not converge in one location, right? Everybody was talking about super spreaders then, right? For years, that was keyword, buzzword.
Mass.
And so we wanted to have events that were outdoors and allowed people to walk around town. And so the porches were, I think that year was 18 porches, and it was all around town. And that way people weren't sort of gathering in one specific location. And then the following year after that, so we're on our fourth one this year, our following year after that, we did the Princeton Art Bazaar, which was a way to bring back the vendor booth experience that Communiversity had.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, we've now are offering an art bazaar that has over 100 vendors, all art, which is something that Communiversity was never able to accomplish. And so we close the street down, we get a beer garden going, we have a band, and we get thousands of people descend into town. And it gives an opportunity not only to support artists, right? Because all the vendors are artists. We also have an open house so people can see what's going on inside the Arts Council to demystify to both our community and those, further afield, to demystify what happens in that glorious Michael Graves building. But it also, another key little twist that we did in hopes of encouraging economic boom and drive to town, because like I said, we started this when COVID was still fresh in everyone's mind, was the opportunity to go shop in town and to support the vendors and predominantly the food services in town. Because as you may or may not remember, they were hurt really probably the most to a lot of those businesses. And so one thing about Cove University, we made a lot of money on food vendors. And so since we got rid of all the food vendors, we made less revenue, but it was our attempt to boost sales for the local merchants. And so we continue not offering food so that all the people that are descending in town will go into town and go to the coffee shops of the, small world coffee shops and sacred coffee shops, and also all the stores like Olives and Mamoons and Jam and Crepes, all the great little local restaurants that we have.
Plugging away. No, those were all really good restaurants. You know what? I'm going to just say right now, Communiversity was huge, and that bothered me because I'm a big support local. I'm glad you guys did that.
Yeah. So
kudos.
Thank you. And it was a popular, not popular decision I made when I first started. And, it did raise some eyebrows, but, one thing that I love to do, and not a lot of people know this about me, is I read old newspapers. I'm an amateur historian. And so one thing I noticed is reading these old newspapers, that since that first street fair in 1971, there was 83 businesses that signed a petition to never allow the Arts Council to have a street fair again. And one of the big problems was it then happened on Saturdays, and the street fair happened in front, right, closed down the streets. Mm-hmm. So it blocked businesses, right? And this is one of the issues, I think one of the dilemmas of the street fair is that all the vendors are in front of the merchants.
Right.
And so people walk down to the main street, not accessing the local businesses. So I understood their complaints. Some of their complaints was, we don't want, these aren't our people. Right. So that's not a complaint I recognize, but a complaint that, it hurt the businesses is something that, to take seriously. And that was, I think the biggest red flag I saw, that my predecessors and the agency really never saw those complaints as valid. And I'm a firm believer that arts are important, one of the most important aspects of life, besides eating and love and those sorts of things. But, arts are really high up there. And I think that, arts are a major driver of the economy. Mm-hmm. It's proven that that's the case.
Look at Hoboken.
Yeah.
And like different parts of inner cities, they take art and they create a community.
Absolutely.
And it's important.
Absolutely. It's a great way to bring people together.
Yeah.
It's a great way to help people. It's a great way to make some money. Which tends to be one of the things that a lot of people pay attention to, is the economic drivers of things, and where all of us and our daily lives fit within that economic model. And arts are something that, unfortunately, from a very early age, we are sort of trained or taught by many people that it's secondary or tertiary and not that relevant. Mm-hmm. Like school boards are a great example of the first thing they cut. Is the arts.
Why?
I think
because sports gets money.
Sports makes money, right? So
and arts, music, all that. And that's like the gateway to the soul.
Yeah.
Music can change your mood.
It's a great way to put it.
Clearly, painting, which I'm never really dove into because of my patience, but like just here, and how can somebody, like, for example, I'm not a painter, right? And sitting in the paint and sip, I'm like, I can never do that. However, we were talking earlier, what's the importance of allowing yourself that creative hands-on? What does that do for someone?
So, a great question. And I think most of what I'm going to say is can be proven scientifically. It's not something I've done too much research on, or read the stuff people have written about it.
Note to self, he doesn't know, he's not scientifically, but Experience counts, I
Yeah,
think.
exactly. So one thing that art allows everyone to do, no matter what your age or ability, it allows you to express yourself in a way other than linguistically, right? So we often, as children or as infants, right, you don't really have a way to express yourself through your words, as they say. So you do it through your actions, and that's, as children, they cry when they need something, laugh when they're happy, those kinds of things.
Right.
And so art is just another vehicle for anyone to express themselves, typically non-verbally, or in a way that you can't otherwise express yourself, right? So that's the beauty of art. Like art doesn't necessarily have to. Art always means something. I don't know what that might be. It's depending on the person doing it. But one of the great things about it is, it means something different to everybody, and it allows you to communicate yourself and your ideas and your feelings through another conduit. I just think that's an amazing opportunity, especially with people that find it difficult, unlike myself, to verbalize, like feelings and ideas.
No, you have
and
no problem
curiosities.
verbalizing. But
so far.
no, but you are very rare. I'm rare. I can talk to anybody, but a lot of people can't. And that's why, I wanted you to come on to talk about this, because looking at your programs, I didn't even know about the Art God thing. I'm still
just one small program.
I know,
but yeah.
I'm just saying. But I took an astrology class, the art of astrology.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a woman, and I learned about something I didn't know. I thought it was kind of fun. It was at someone's house.
Yep, Kathy Herring's house. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was a book launch. It was a book launch.
It was a
event.
book launch, and it was a great book, and it was just something different because I love astrology. And I feel that, obviously you just named health, wellness, creative, fun, like it covers all bases. And you have so many different programs, even dancing, I believe.
Yep. We're very well known for flamenco.
Flamenco,
Yeah.
I know.
Over 25 years. And I took it when I first started.
Yeah, how'd you do?
I did amazingly well in my mind, but in reality, not very well at all. I couldn't take
no
it.
competition.
Too much work.
Dancing with the Stars.
It was, I wouldn't be so good there, but it was a lot of work. And, one thing that dancers don't get any credit for is the amount of stamina that it takes and the amount of endurance. And it's just both my daughters dance, which they're amazing. But I just could not take an hour-long dance class. I'm a tall person. You can't tell from this podcast, but it was very difficult on all my extremities. And it's a lot of very loud stomping. And I'm sure stomping isn't a glorious way to say it, but it's very physical. And
loud tapping.
Loud tapping. It was very difficult on my body. So yes, but we're very well known for flamenco. Lisa Patalico, who's been teaching with us over 25 years now, brought it to our studio, and we've never been the same. And I absolutely, so another, not to hound on COVID, because I don't want too many people to dwell on. It happened.
No one really talks about it anymore, but it was the thing. It changed how things happened.
The only reason it seems so fresh in mind is it was the 5th year anniversary. It just came up. So during COVID, in order to get social distancing sufficiently, we moved flamenco up into our theater on the 2nd floor, which is right above the administrative offices.
Which is a cool space no one knows about.
It's a beautiful space.
I know.
I absolutely love it. We recently did some remodeling in there, painting, some new speakers, some new lights. It's amazing. But so flamenco was overhead. And so my staff during that time would leave, but I loved the sound above me of them all stomping away on the floor, loudly tapping. And it was an amazing experience. And it was, one of those things, and it inspired me to want to take it. So, I took it during that time. But we moved them since back to the dance studio, but I do miss it from time to time.
Yeah.
But I hate to go back to a question you asked, because I feel like I only touched on it lightly, was the idea of the art as this expression of this sort of sometimes nonverbal expression of oneself. But it also allows you to, as we discussed earlier, not zone out, but to think of other things, right? To refocus your mind. And you related it to painting, but I can relate it to ceramics, because I've been doing it for 30 years, the wheel,
The
right?
wheel.
Yeah, so people
I
talk
want to do
about-
like that movie Ghost.
Yes,
I know, the
exactly.
wheel.
Ghosting is a thing. Of course,
I love
kids
it, I
call
love it.
ghosting something else now. But when we were younger,
When we were
ghosting
younger.
was you're
Great
throwing on
movie,
the
by the
potter's
way.
wheel, with
Yeah.
the love of your life. But now,
No,
ghosting is a
the wheel
texting
is a thing
Yeah.
now. I think it's
Oh.
amazing. You guys always have demonstrations out there, and I'm
Yeah.
watching them, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, one day.
So it allows you to refocus, right? So one of the things about ceramics that we often say, and it's goes back to Zen, right? Is you have to center yourself, right? In order to center on the wheel, you have to center yourself, and so when that happens, you have to sort of empty your mind of all of the detritus that's happening around us, and just focus on the
moment.
focus on the moment. And you're at that wheel for a very long time. So it allows you a lot of time for reflection and self-reflection and, thinking about the things that are, more
That's
important. And so I imagine painting and photography and flamenco and all these other things are a lot the same. It allows you a time to refocus and
Get out of your head.
and let the world get out of your head.
The world. Oh, it's so blah right now.
Yeah. So sorry to take us back to
No. I'm glad you
that,
did, because that actually is an important part of the conversation. So thank you for reminding me what we need to talk about, because we were having so much fun with flamenco. But it's true. There's a lot of people out there, and the last place you want to be is by yourself in your head. It could be scary.
Yeah.
But just to get away, because honestly, this is a phase in the world, and we're going to get through it. But how you get through it is going to be important.
Mhm.
Don't watch the news, by the way.
Yeah. Try to avoid
Read
the
it.
news.
Don't watch it.
Try to avoid it. And, it might be, well, it was probably cliche at one time. It's not anymore because people don't know it. But, there was this great song, Simon and Garfunkel, I can gather all the news I need on the weather report, and it's just like, oh, that's a pretty good way to go about,
Yeah.
living life is, what's the weather like today? And
Go outside and find out.
yeah. And so, and
The
and that's
weather
something
app.
else we don't do enough is go outside and
No,
find
go
out.
outside.
Which
I know,
we have a
it's-
class for that. It's called plein air painting. So
Plein air painting's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, allows you to get outside and
Earthing.
earthing. And you could take off your shoes and socks and ground yourself.
It's important.
Yeah, it's not something I know too much about, but I have heard about that. So that's another angle of
Do you have
the
a
mental
grounding
health.
mat?
I don't, but
No.
maybe we should.
I got one and I got shocked. I was like, I just
I'm not
better-
doing this again.
It was during COVID. I got a grounding mat. I better just go out in the grass. No, but grounding and being outside just for a walk.
Mhm.
You know what? I have business meetings on walks because you can
approach.
literally solve the world's problem with a walk.
Yep.
And the
I
right
I think that's
conversation,
true.
Obviously.
I think that's true.
So you have events coming up.
Yes.
You always have events coming up, but some fun stuff coming up.
Yes.
So?
Yes. So a lot of fun. So the first one we have coming up is right around the corner. So I should preface this by saying you're correct. We have an event almost every day. And I would be remiss if I didn't say how amazing the staff at the Arts Council is. They are absolutely beautiful, amazing, hardworking, great artistic souls. And they have been there for a long time. Many of them have been there a decade or longer. And they're the ones that make everything go around. I just come on podcasts and talk about how great the Arts
Everyone
Council
is.
but they're the ones doing all the work. So
No,
I
it's
should.
It's a team. It takes a team, a village.
It takes a
Clearly
village.
with funding cutting.
Yeah.
A lot of this is volunteer too.
Yeah. It takes a village, volunteer, and philanthropy. So the first event that we do have coming up is called Art People Party. And the Art People Party it harks back to the event I spoke about earlier in 1971. That was the first Art People Party, which was that street fair. But Art People Party was something that Ann Reeves, considered the founding director of the Arts Council, also called the building at one time. She called all of the different things she did the Art People Party. So it'd be all these little events. And we like that, right? We like that. And so we brought that back and named a beer after it, actually. We did a donation beer with this, another plug, Old Heights Brewing Company.
Okay.
And so we brought it back to life then. And then we started to do this event, Pinot de Picasso, which predates me, but we changed the name to Art People Party. And so each year we have a new theme. This year it's prom.
Prom.
And the idea
Whip out
is
the dress.
it's all about the dress. Yeah. And so it's the idea isn't necessarily, though my outfit will be more on the humorous side, I imagine. But it's not necessarily about, you know, reliving your prom experience. It's about having your ideal best prom experience. So you get to prom redo.
Okay.
So that's coming up, and that's April 4th. And we're honoring a great woman named Kristen Applegate, who is the vice president, vice president of Community and Regional Affairs at Princeton University, who has just the university itself, mostly through Kristen's office, has really rolled out the red carpet for the Arts Council since I've been there. They've just been so gracious. So we wanted to honor her and all of her accomplishments in Princeton through the Merchants Association, as well as the Mercer County Princeton business community. So we wanted to support that. And that's coming right up. So that's very exciting. The next one, is I mentioned before, is PorchFest.
Yep.
So that's another big one. And that is the last Saturday in April. And that is a town-wide event.
That's
I think
fun.
it's like 90 bands.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's all local talent.
It's all local. It's all local talent. And then we have the following weekend is the Art Bazaar.
Okay.
So those are the three big events, but check out the calendar because
always something.
It's always something. And there's so much great stuff. Art of astrology, for instance. Like you said, we have art of floral making. We have, you know, all kinds of different experiences.
You have a lot of art stuff.
We do. And alcohol, which is always fun.
And alcohol with art. There you go.
What? You know, it's all about the meaning of life.
Well, it's experiential moment. Well, anyway, this was a fun conversation, and we clearly could talk for a really long time. I love it because you have a lot to say. Please go check out local Arts Council of Princeton. Lots to do. And thank you so much for bringing back events that support local businesses. That's very important.
Thank you so much again for having me on, and it's been a great conversation.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Buzzing off. Till the next time, make sure to like, share, and comment because after all, this is the voice of local.